On June 13th and 14th, 2025, the covert conflict between Israel and Iran erupted into open warfare, shattering decades of uneasy stalemate. Israel's Operation Rising Lion unleashed precision airstrikes on Iran's nuclear and military sites, prompting Iran to retaliate with a massive missile barrage targeting Israeli cities. This escalation exposed the world to the true dangers of modern warfare, threatening global energy supplies and risking superpower involvement. The conflict is a stark reminder of how advanced weaponry and deep-seated rivalries can spiral into crises with global consequences. Understanding the military capabilities of both nations is now essential, as their arsenals and strategies are no longer theoretical. This video breaks down the hardware, doctrines and stakes of the Israel-Iran conflict, highlighting the urgent need for diplomacy. Israel and Iran's militaries reflect their contrasting realities. Israel's compact, high-tech force versus Iran's vast, resilient, and asymmetric approach. Israel relies on technological superiority, elite training, and preemptive doctrine, projecting power far beyond its borders. Iran compensates for technological gaps with mass, indigenous missile and drone production, and a network of regional proxies. Israel's edge is precision and intelligence, but its small size makes it vulnerable to mass missile attacks, making air defense critical. Iran's strength is its ability to absorb damage and retaliate through dispersed assets and hardened facilities, aiming to make any attack costly. This asymmetry shapes a conflict where Israel seeks deterrence and survival, while Iran leverages resilience and multi-front threats. Air power is Israel's greatest conventional advantage, a pillar of its military doctrine and a symbol of its technological edge in the region. The Israeli Air Force has spent decades honing its ability to strike quickly, accurately, and with minimal warning, making it a formidable force in any conflict scenario. At the heart of this advantage are the F-35 Ayadir stealth fighters, the most advanced jets in Israel's arsenal. These aircraft are not only difficult to detect, but also equipped with cutting-edge sensors and electronic warfare suites, allowing them to operate deep inside hostile territory. In recent operations, these jets have penetrated Iranian airspace undetected, striking high-value targets and returning safely, demonstrating both their stealth and Israel's intelligence capabilities. Alongside the F-35S, upgraded F-15S and F-16S provide additional firepower and flexibility, enabling Israel to deliver precision strikes from long distances and adapt quickly to changing battlefield conditions. These aerial operations are supported by a sophisticated network of electronic warfare systems and real-time intelligence, integrating satellite feeds, drone surveillance, and cyber capabilities to create a comprehensive picture of the battlespace. In contrast, Iran's aging air force is outmatched in direct aerial combat, so it has shifted focus to drones. By investing heavily in unmanned aerial vehicles like the Shahab and Mohajer, Iran can deploy swarms to overwhelm Israeli defenses, conduct persistent surveillance, and launch surprise attacks. The June conflict highlighted this dynamic. Israeli jets struck deep, high-value targets with precision, while both sides relied on drones for reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and targeted attacks, turning the skies into a complex, multi-layered battlefield. Israel's advanced electronic warfare and network defense systems amplify its aerial edge, disrupting enemy communications and guiding interceptors. Yet, Iran's strategy of launching large drone swarms and missile salvos aims to saturate and penetrate these defenses, forcing Israel to constantly adapt. The contest is no longer just about who has the best jets or the most drones, but about the entire supporting ecosystem: intelligence gathering, electronic jamming, rapid adaptation, and the ability to process and act on information faster than the adversary. Iran's approach is to leverage quantity and unpredictability, launching waves of drones and missiles to challenge Israel's qualitative edge and test the limits of its high-tech defenses. In this new era of warfare, the skies over the Middle East are more contested and more dangerous than ever before. Iran's missile arsenal stands as the centerpiece of its military strategy, serving as both a formidable tool for deterrence and a symbol of its regional ambitions. Over decades, Iran has invested heavily in developing a vast and sophisticated missile program, seeing these weapons as a way to offset conventional military disadvantages and project power far beyond its borders. Today, Iran boasts the largest and most diverse ballistic missile force in the Middle East. Its arsenal includes medium-range Shahab 3, the solid-fueled Sejil, and the advanced Imad missiles, each capable of carrying significant payloads and reaching distant targets. These missiles can strike virtually anywhere in Israel, putting major cities and strategic sites within reach. Animated maps of missile trajectories highlight just how vulnerable the region is to a sudden escalation. The June 14th missile barrage was a stark demonstration of Iran's ability to launch coordinated high-volume attacks, overwhelming defenses, and sending a clear message to its adversaries. On the other side, Israel's Jericho ballistic missiles remain shrouded in secrecy. Believed to be nuclear capable, these missiles are rarely seen in public, but their existence is an open secret and a cornerstone of Israel's strategic doctrine. The Jericho force forms the backbone of Israel's deterrent, providing a credible second strike capability that underpins its national security. Both nations also field a range of tactical and cruise missiles. Israel's Laura and Delilah systems offer precision strike options capable of hitting high-value targets with minimal warning. Meanwhile, Iran's growing cruise missile fleet is designed for flexibility and surprise, able to fly low and evade radar, making them a persistent threat to both military and civilian infrastructure. These capabilities enable both sides to conduct precision strikes and launch multi-pronged attacks, complicating defense planning and raising the stakes of any confrontation. For Iran, missiles are the great equalizer, allowing it to challenge Israel's technological edge and air superiority, and to threaten population centers or critical infrastructure directly. The specter of missile attacks bypasses Israel's advanced air force, forcing the country to invest heavily in missile defense and civil preparedness, as seen during recent air raid alerts. For Israel, the Jericho missiles are the ultimate insurance policy, a last resort deterrent designed to ensure that any existential threat is met with overwhelming retaliation. The mere possibility of a nuclear response is intended to dissuade adversaries from considering large-scale attacks, maintaining a delicate balance of terror in the region. The recent missile exchange has made this dangerous balance public and precarious, exposing the risks of miscalculation and the potential for rapid escalation. In this high-stakes environment, the missile duel between Iran and Israel is now central to the region's security equation, shaping military planning, diplomacy, and the daily lives of millions. The naval front is a volatile extension of the Israel-Iran rivalry, where the open sea becomes a chessboard for power projection and deterrence. Both nations have invested heavily in their maritime capabilities, each developing unique strengths and strategies to assert dominance and protect their interests. The waters stretching from the Mediterranean to the Persian Gulf are not just transit routes. They are potential flashpoints where a single misstep could have global repercussions. Israel's Dolphin-class submarines are the silent sentinels of the deep. These advanced vessels, equipped with the ability to launch cruise missiles, provide Israel with a formidable second strike capability. Operating from the Mediterranean and potentially far beyond, they serve as a powerful deterrent, ensuring that Israel can respond to any existential threat, even if its land-based assets are compromised. Their stealth and endurance make them a critical component of Israel's strategic doctrine, allowing for covert patrols and the projection of power far from home waters. In contrast, Iran's naval forces are divided between two distinct branches. The regular Iranian Navy, or Iran, operates conventional warships and submarines, focusing on blue water operations and regional presence. Meanwhile, the IRGC Navy specializes in asymmetric warfare, deploying swarms of fast, heavily armed speedboats. These agile craft are designed to overwhelm larger adversaries and dominate the narrow, crowded waters of the Persian Gulf, where speed and surprise are decisive advantages. Iran's speedboats pose a constant threat to commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, a vital choke point through which a significant portion of the world's oil supply flows. Any disruption here could send shockwaves through global markets. On the other side, Israel's modern surface fleet, including Sa'ar 6 corvettes, is tasked with defending its coastline, safeguarding offshore gas platforms, and ensuring the security of maritime trade routes. While a direct naval confrontation between Israel and Iran remains unlikely due to the risks involved, the shadow war at sea is intensifying. Proxy attacks, sabotage of commercial vessels, and cyber operations targeting maritime infrastructure have become increasingly common, raising the stakes and the potential for escalation. The risk of miscalculation at sea is ever present. A single stray missile, a misidentified vessel, or an aggressive maneuver could quickly spiral out of control, drawing in regional and even global powers. The crowded, contested waters leave little room for error, making every encounter fraught with danger. In these strategic waters, Israel's silent submarines and Iran's relentless speedboats symbolize the unpredictable and ever-present dangers lurking beneath the surface. The maritime rivalry between these two nations is a high-stakes game, where the balance of power can shift in an instant and the consequences of conflict could ripple far beyond the region. Long before missiles flew, Israel and Iran were locked in a relentless cyber war, targeting each other's infrastructure, military systems, and civilian life. Israel's Unit 8200 and Mossad lead sophisticated cyber operations, exemplified by the Stuxnet attack that crippled Iran's nuclear program. Iran, learning from these attacks, has built a persistent cyber force, launching disruptive hacks against Israeli government, utilities, and private sectors. Both sides use cyber and electronic warfare to sabotage, spy, and disrupt, jamming radars, spoofing GPS, and targeting command networks. In open conflict, these digital attacks are integrated with kinetic strikes, aiming to blind, confuse, and paralyze the enemy. The first shots of modern war are fired in cyberspace, shaping the battlefield before a single missile is launched. The digital domain is now as critical as air, land, or sea. In a war of missiles and airstrikes, air defense is a matter of survival. Israel's multi-layered shield, Iron Dome, David's Sling, and Arrow systems intercepts threats from short-range rockets to long-range ballistic missiles. The Arrow 3, co-developed with the US, can destroy missiles in space, providing a crucial last line of defense. During the Iranian missile barrage, this network, aided by US support, intercepted most threats and saved countless lives. Iran's air defenses, upgraded with Russian S-300Ss and domestic Battle 373 systems, protect key sites that remain less integrated and more vulnerable to Israeli stealth and electronic warfare. Operation Rising Lion exposed gaps in Iran's defenses, as Israeli strikes targeted radars and missile batteries. The offense-defense race is a high-stakes game where a single breakthrough can change the course of the war. The spectre of nuclear weapons looms over every Israel-Iran confrontation. Israel's undeclared nuclear arsenal is its ultimate deterrent, shrouded in ambiguity to avoid provoking an arms race. Iran, a signatory to the Non-Proliferation Treaty, insists its nuclear program is peaceful, but its enrichment activities fuel deep suspicion. Israeli leaders have drawn a red line. Iran must not acquire a bomb, prompting sabotage, assassinations, and now direct strikes on nuclear sites. The nuclear dimension raises the stakes from conventional war to potential catastrophe, with fears that attacks could push Iran to pursue a weapon in earnest. Military action can delay, but not erase nuclear knowledge, creating a dangerous feedback loop of escalation. The risk, a miscalculation, could trigger a regional nuclear crisis with global consequences. The June 2025 clashes have transformed a shadow war into open conflict, revealing the full spectrum of Israeli and Iranian capabilities. The risks of further escalation are immense: regional war, economic crisis, and superpower intervention. Military stalemate is likely. Israel's strikes can't erase Iran's nuclear know-how, and Iran's missiles can't overcome Israel's technological edge. Diplomacy is the only viable path away from disaster, requiring urgent international mediation and pressure. The tools of war have been demonstrated. Now the challenge is to make the tools of peace more powerful and appealing. The world faces a stark choice: heed the warning of June 2025, or stumble into a conflict with devastating consequences. The future hinges on whether leaders choose continued brinkmanship or the difficult road of negotiation. The stakes have never been higher.